and reintroducing more healthy, whole foods, and that the ideological war on meat needs to end. I've seen tens of thousands of people see complete remission in as little as 6 weeks. Most drugs don't work that fast, and no drug fixes the root cause. Approximately 1 in 4 Americans are on psychiatric medications for psychiatric illness, and approximately 1 in 10 has an autoimmune disorder. I believe all these millions of people could be symptom-free with proper dietary interventions ranging from low-carb to ketogenic to plant-free ketogenic to whole food, depending on the severity of the illness. Dietary intervention is what doctors should suggest first before putting people on medications that do not treat the underlying problem, some of which cause horrible dependence, making them nearly impossible to get off of. Treating chronic disease, which we now know is caused by the environment and our diet, without looking at diet as the treatment, should be considered malpractice. My request, shared by millions of people using these diets to treat themselves, is for the government to fund studies on ketogenic and plant-free ketogenic diets as potential treatments for autoimmunity and psychiatric disorders. There are only a few studies on this because of the lack of funding. One study shows remission in treatments of Crohn's disease, which is a terrible intestinal autoimmune disorder that can result in people using colostomy bags for the rest of their life. Another study shows complete remission of anorexia. Unless people start being treated with dietary interventions using these ketogenic diets, and the food pyramid prioritizes meat and low-carb whole foods so that people can avoid becoming chronically ill in the first place, and Americans are told that the ultra-processed foods aren't just unhealthy, they're making us chronically ill, America's going to get fatter, sicker, more mentally ill, and more expensive. If the government funds these studies, America could be at the forefront of these scientific discoveries. Thank you very much for your time. It's an honor to be here.
Thank you, Michaela. By the way, the format of this is opening statements. If there are some questions following up, again, I'll encourage the panelists just do that, and I'll recognize. I just have one quick question, Michaela. This seems to be a pretty dramatic solution for you. How did you arrive at it? I mean, what doctors? I mean, do this on your own with your father, or I mean, how did you come to this solution?
So originally, the processed foods are just eating meat. That was sheer desperation. So my autoimmune symptoms started to come back after I had a baby and got off all the medications. And I knew that I had got them under control in the first place with diet, and that wasn't doing enough for me. And so I figured, why not reduce my diet to one variable that I hope is sustainable? Turns out it is sustainable. That was mostly based on hope. And then the idea was to reintroduce other foods and figure out what was causing reactions. Now, I'm still on the diet, which is why research needs to be done. Maybe if research is done, we can figure out why,
so
how to get other foods in.
You did this all on your own? There's no doctor that recommended this to you? You just did this strictly on your own?
Oh, yeah. My rheumatologist dropped me. My doctors dropped me. It was infuriating.
Well, again, thank you for sharing that story. Our next presenter is Dr. Jordan B. Peterson. Dr. Peterson, by the way, also bears a few scars from trying to convey the truth to people. He is renowned psychologist.